towering over every other passenger plane, with 2 full decks, 4 massive engines, and space for more than 600 passengers. The Airbus A380 was meant to be the future of aviation. It promised efficiency, luxury, and unmatched prestige. But just over a decade later, the dream hasn't quite played out as Airbus had hoped. Most airlines have quietly parked, sold, or scrapped their A380s. Some never even flew them again after the pandemic. And yet, one airline refuses to let go: Emirates. Not only do they still fly the A380, they're investing millions to keep it in the skies well into the 2030s. So why did almost everyone else abandon the super jumbo? And why is Emirates clinging to it? The answers reveal a lot about how air travel has changed, where it's headed, and what it takes to run the largest passenger plane ever built. To understand why the A380 exists, we need to rewind to the 1990s. At the time, Boeing dominated long-haul travel with the legendary 747, the queen of the skies. Since 1970, the 747 had connected continents, made intercontinental flying affordable, and became a cultural icon. But by the early 90s, global passenger numbers were expected to double, maybe even triple, in the coming decades. Mega hubs like London Heathrow, New York JFK, and Tokyo Narita were already bursting at the seams. The logic seemed clear. If airports can't easily add more runways, the next best solution is bigger planes carrying more passengers per flight. Airbus set out to challenge Boeing directly, launching a project first known as the A3XX. Their goal wasn't just a modest upgrade, it was aviation's equivalent of a moonshot, a jet with 2 full passenger decks, a wingspan of nearly 80 meters, and the ability to carry over 850 people in an all-economy layout. Even in a typical 3-class configuration, most airlines planned for between 500 and 600 seats. Development costs ballooned to roughly $25 billion, making it one of the most expensive aerospace projects in history. By the mid-2000s, Airbus believed the future belonged to giants. When Singapore Airlines introduced the first A380 in 2007, the aviation world was stunned. Passengers described it as whisper quiet, smoother, and more spacious than any other airliner. Singapore even launched private first-class suites with sliding doors and full-size beds, something closer to a luxury hotel than an airplane. Emirates went further, adding onboard bars, lounges, and even showers in first class. Qantas used the A380 for ultra-long flights like Sydney to Los Angeles. Lufthansa built social spaces and in-flight lounges. For a while, the A380 wasn't just transportation. It was a flying experience. The economics, on paper, also made sense. The hub-and-spoke system dominated long-haul travel. Airlines funneled passengers into mega hubs, then dispatched them on massive trunk routes. The A380 could move more people per slot, solving capacity problems at airports like Heathrow or Changi. It seemed like Airbus had built the ultimate 21st century machine. But even as the A380 wowed passengers, airlines began seeing problems: fuel burn and operating costs. The A380 uses 4 Rolls-Royce Trent 900 or Engine Alliance G P7200 turbofans, each producing over 70,000 pounds of thrust. While powerful and quiet, 4 engines simply burn more fuel than 2. By contrast, new generation twin jets like the Boeing 787, Dreamliner, and Airbus A350 used advanced composite materials, higher bypass ratio engines, and aerodynamic improvements to cross the same oceans on 2 engines while consuming up to 25% less fuel per seat. The A380 only achieved its promised efficiency when nearly full. A lightly loaded A380 could lose money on a single long-haul flight. Flexibility airlines also value scheduling flexibility. A 300-seat Boeing 787 can be filled more consistently than a 600-seat A380. Smaller planes also allow multiple daily departures, offering passengers better timing choices. The Super Jumbo forced airlines into an all-or-nothing gamble. Can we fill every seat every time? Infrastructure. Not every airport could handle it. Taxiways needed widening. Gates required double-deck boarding bridges, and runways needed reinforcement for the A380's max takeoff weight of 1.2 million pounds. Los Angeles International alone spent hundreds of millions upgrading facilities. Smaller airports couldn't justify the investment, restricting the A380 to a limited global network. Market shifts. Meanwhile, passengers began favoring point-to-point flights. Instead of flying Perth to Singapore to London, travelers wanted non-stop Perth to London. Twin-engine aircraft like the 787 and A350 made these long direct routes economical. Environmental pressure. As climate concerns grew, regulators pushed for lower emissions. 4 engines became a liability. All these factors combined to erode the A380's business case. Several airlines provide textbook examples. Air France operated just 10 A380s. By 2020, maintenance costs were skyrocketing. COVID gave them the perfect excuse to retire the fleet overnight. Malaysia Airlines bought 6, but struggled to fill them even on prime routes, like London and Sydney. Today they're retired, used only occasionally for pilgrimage flights. Qantas loved the passenger experience, but parked its entire fleet in the Mojave Desert during the pandemic. A handful have returned, but management openly admits their days are numbered. Singapore Airlines, the launch customer, became the first to scrap an A380, shocking the industry when a barely 10-year-old aircraft was dismantled for parts. Lufthansa mothballed theirs during COVID, then reluctantly reactivated a few when Boeing's delayed 777X left them short on capacity. The pandemic didn't cause the A380's decline, but it accelerated it. International travel collapsed almost overnight. With fuel-hungry giants sitting idle, airlines scrambled to cut costs. The A380 became the first to be parked, and for many carriers, never came back. By 2021, Airbus officially ended production, sealing the Super Jumbo's fate. And yet, one airline doubled down. Emirates. Emirates operates over 100 A380s, nearly half of the world's active fleet. Dubai sits perfectly between Europe, Asia, and Africa. Its model relies on funneling passengers through a single mega hub. That connecting traffic allows Emirates to keep its A380s consistently full, even on routes others can't justify. Where most airlines had 10 or fewer, Emirates built an entire ecosystem around the A380. This scale creates economies of maintenance, crew training, and spare parts that no other carrier can match. The A380 is Emirates' flagship and a marketing machine. When travelers picture Emirates, they imagine the onboard bar, the shower spa, the sheer space of the upper deck. It attracts premium passengers willing to pay for comfort. Emirates has ordered the Boeing 777X and Airbus A350 to eventually replace the A380. But both programs have faced repeated delays. Until those aircraft arrive in significant numbers, the A380 fills a critical capacity gap. While others were scrapping their fleets, Emirates poured billions into cabin refurbishments, including a brand new premium economy class and upgraded business suites, keeping the giant competitive well into the next decade. Still, even Emirates can't hold on forever. Airbus will never build another. Spare parts will become harder to source. Fuel prices and tightening emissions regulations will continue to pressure four-engine aircraft. Emirates expects to keep flying the A380 until the late 2030s, maybe 2040 at the most. But its future belongs to new generation twins like the 777X and A350. The A380's story teaches us several lessons. Predicting aviation's future is incredibly difficult. Airbus bet on bigger, but the market demanded smaller and more efficient. One airline's failure can be another's success. What didn't work for Air France or Malaysia works brilliantly for Emirates. Passenger love doesn't equal profitability. Travelers adored the A380, but airlines couldn't make the numbers add up. In today's aviation world, efficiency, flexibility, and sustainability matter more than sheer size. The Airbus A380 remains one of aviation's boldest achievements, a flying palace and a testament to engineering ambition. But ambition isn't always sustainable. For most airlines, the Super Jumbo proved too big, too expensive, and too inflexible for a world chasing efficiency and frequency. Thanks to Emirates, however, the giant still rules select skies. If you want to experience the magic, the double-deck spaciousness, the quiet power of four engines lifting over 1 million pounds into the air, you still can. Just book a flight through Dubai, because for now, and for a little while longer, the A380 is not just surviving, it's thriving.